He's known for his sandals, his smile, and his service to the poor, but what Pope Francis quietly left behind has left his family in tears. A man who rejected luxury, rode in modest cars, and lived simply, has now been revealed to have built a fortune. But it's not what you think. The shocking truth about where that money came from, and where it's going, will completely change the way you see him. Stay until the end, because this final act of humility is nothing short of breathtaking. Pope Francis, the beloved leader of the Catholic Church, has spent his entire papacy advocating for the voiceless, the marginalized, and the suffering. His legacy has always been defined by humility, eschewing the opulence of the papal palaces in favor of a simple guest house, wearing plain vestments, and even driving a modest vehicle. Millions have admired his commitment to service, kindness, and justice. But behind that humble exterior, a stunning truth has emerged. In a revelation that has stunned both the Vatican and his extended family, Pope Francis is said to have left behind a sizable fortune, not for personal luxury, but for a cause much greater than himself. At first glance, the idea seems to clash with everything he stood for. But as the story unfolds, the picture becomes clear and deeply moving. Throughout his time serving in the Vatican, Pope Francis oversaw and carefully managed various charitable funds, donations, and real estate holdings tied to church missions around the globe. These assets, which quietly grew over time, were never intended to serve his personal interests. Instead, they were structured to fuel humanitarian programs, fund schools, support shelters, and advance the Catholic Church's outreach efforts in the world's most impoverished regions. His family, who have always viewed him as a man of modest means and even more modest desires, were overwhelmed by the discovery. Not because he withheld his wealth from them, but because they realized the full depth of his sacrifice. He had built a legacy of service and then funded it himself, all without fanfare or acknowledgement. Perhaps the most touching element of the story is that Pope Francis never deviated from his values. This quiet fortune was never used for indulgence. There were no luxury homes, no expensive tastes, only a deep, unwavering desire to make the world better, even after he was gone. In the end, Pope Francis left behind far more than material wealth. He left a blueprint for how to live, with intention, compassion, and purpose. His final act, much like his life, was about lifting others, not himself. And that's what makes his family cry, not from shame or scandal, but from awe and pride in the legacy he gave to the world. If this story of unseen generosity and unwavering service moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. And don't forget to hit the bell, because stories like this remind us what true leadership really looks like.